Today on the inaugural episode of Built to Last the Green Home, we'll get started on our journey to learn what it takes to build a sustainable, environmentally friendly, and healthy home. And it all starts right now on Built to Last.
Support for Built to Last is provided by
Unico Incorporated, manufacturers of the small duct high-velocity HVAC Unico system. Unico is dedicated to the environment and has been serving residential and commercial customers around the corner and around the globe for more than 25 years.
Great Northern Lumber, providing green construction materials from skyscrapers to residential remodel. Proud to serve you for the last 27 years and into the future in the lumber industry.
Bosch, power tools for professionals. Proud sponsor of The Green Home. Florida Tile. Expect more. SPI Incorporated, protective coatings, proven performance, and real-world solutions for 24 years. Additional funding is provided by these firms.
The basis of building construction has always been to shield us from the harsh elements in our environment. In recent years, we've begun to consider the impact that our construction, maintenance, and energy use have on the environment, and so green practices are being implemented and accepted more than ever before. So let's talk about what green construction means. Definitions may vary depending on who you ask. For some, green construction is building with indoor air quality and health of the residents as a priority. And for others, it's constructing an efficient building that saves energy and natural resources while reducing pollution. Still, other green builders focus on the materials they use, choosing products made from sustainable and renewable resources. However, experts agree that green building is about design and construction practices that meet specified standards, which resolve much of the negative impact of construction on the occupants and the environment. With the construction of our home, we'll be combining all the aspects of green design with integrated planning and homeowner education by following these strategies. Integrated planning. We'll start the project right by having all of our project participants meet together to discuss different strategies to satisfy the 5 aspects of green design. This meeting will include our design team, contractor, and engineers. Site planning and design. Selecting a project site that's located in an area that is already developed reduces the need for additional municipal infrastructure like gas and electricity, as well as new roads. Also, selecting plants that are native to the area and drought tolerant helps reduce potable water demand for irrigation and reduces the potential of introducing harmful invasive species. Water conservation. We will be incorporating a rainwater harvesting system that takes the intent of reducing potable water demand for irrigation even further. Besides reducing water use in general on the exterior of the home, we will also be using low-flow faucets, toilets, and shower heads in the bathrooms. Energy efficiency. We'll reduce energy demands by creating a tight, well-insulated thermal envelope which will house our energy-efficient appliances and systems. This will help the occupant save energy and reduce the long-term costs of the home. Efficient material use. We will minimize the use of materials and resources through efficient engineering and design, utilizing products that are locally harvested and manufactured, and effective recycling of construction waste. Indoor environmental quality. We will choose materials and systems that will provide a healthy and comfortable environment for occupants. Homeowner education. Once our project is complete, we will train our homeowner on how best to use and maintain the home's green features, as well as its conventional features. We'll put all of these principles in place while constructing a beautiful home well suited for living in the Midwest. We have two main goals today: to mark the lot lines and foundation and install the erosion control fencing. The crew is already here to start making the lot measurements, so let's check in.
Mark, I want you to set up in the back point, and Bill, you'll give him a back side up here in the front.
Hey guys.
Hey Amy, how you doing?
Good. Eric, what do we have going on today?
Oh, we're basically laying out the foundation offsets today.
Excellent, and I see you have some marks already for the lot.
Yes, we do. We've already established the boundary of the property and checked all the measurements on those monuments, and so those are all set and ready to roll. So.
Now for the foundation itself, talk to me a little bit about the challenges of making it precise on this lot.
Well, because of the size of the house and the zoning building lines that we have to deal with, we don't have a whole lot of tolerance, as far as changing much at all here. So we have to make sure that we're dead on when we lay out our points, so then that way the foundation gets put in exactly where it should be, because there's not a whole lot of room.
And how do you go about doing those precise measurements?
Oh, we just make sure we do a lot of checking and double checking, and a lot of measurements with the instrument to make sure that we're right on, and then we'll offset them, and everything will be done to the 100th of a foot. So.
100th of a foot?
Yeah.
Wow, impressive. All right, I'm gonna let you guys get back to work. Thanks so much for your time.
Sounds good, thanks Amy.
So our surveying team is getting things underway. Our surveyors calculate precise measurements using mathematics and use specialized equipment to map the area of our home to make sure it's planned accurately and safely.
And to your left a little more. Keep going. About 380 away. Right about there.
Hey Eric, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing, Amy?
Good. What measurement are you taking now?
Well, we're at the back corner of the house right now. So this will be the back corner wall. And what we're doing is measuring basically between the front corner wall and the back corner wall to make sure that those are exactly where they're supposed to be. So what we do is the instrument fires a laser, shoots it and bounces it off my prism here. And the distance is measured by the time it takes to get between the two. And so that's how we know of a precise measurement between the 2 points.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you're taking the measurement for the back of the house here, and what is the deal with the offset?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to measure off 5 foot off of the building lines, and then that way when the excavator comes in and knocks out our point right here, then they can measure back the 5 foot and reestablish this point.
And you put a marker there?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll end up putting a stake at those 2 points, and so that those are more of a permanent marker than the nail that we have set at the building corner, since this is going to be knocked out.
Got it. Okay. And then I see you've put a few more stakes in since we last caught up with you.
Yep, we've done that at all the other 3 corners so far, and so this is the last one we have.
All right, so you're almost done.
Just about there.
All right, I'll let you get to it.
All right, thank you.
Now that Eric's team has finished marking out our property, it's time to install our silt fence to protect the areas surrounding our lot. The silt fence will help us reduce the possibility of soil erosion during construction. Hey, Paul.
Hi, how are you?
Good. All right, we've got our silt fence here. I step away for a little bit. You guys are already hard at work. Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, silt fence is material that goes around job sites, new construction or larger sites, and it helps prevent the soil or the disturbed soil from leaving the site.
Okay. And what's it made out of?
It's It's made out of a plastic material, woven real tight to keep the sediment in.
That's really strong.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna get through there. And how does this work?
This is a silt plow, and this is one of our applications we use. We weave the material in. To get it set. And then from there, it makes a precision cut, and the silt fence peels off and goes in line.
Oh, I can't wait to see that in action.
Right, it's a real neat tool. The other tool we use is trenchers to trench a 6 to 8 inch trench, but that leaves spoil, and this is a neater and a real tighter application.
Great. And this is required by law?
It's required on sites over an acre by the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers, but each town has their own regulations that they can install, that require silt fence, like Lamont does.
So it's required here?
Yes.
All right, well, I'll let you get to it. Thanks so much.
Great, thank you.
After the fencing material is pulled around the perimeter of the site, wood stakes are used to erect the silt fence. And then we're ready for construction. Building a home, especially with sustainable methods, requires careful planning. Now, let's meet two of the people we'll be seeing a lot of during this process.
I'm Bruce O'Bora. I'm a partner with the firm of O'Bora, Phillips & Associates. We're a full-service architectural firm. I've been an architect for about 20 years. I've always had an interest in construction. Those are things that I've always been, always had an interest in developing things through kind of a concept and idea and seeing them built. I was always found that very amazing and interesting. In fact, the detail and things that go into trying to achieve something that's a concept.
My name's Lorraine Blissard. I'm principal of LTLB Envirotecture, and we're a small architecture firm that provides lead consulting, building science advice, as well as doing typical commercial projects, architecture and interiors. I'm also the technical director for the Green Builder Coalition, which is a national organization that provides assistance with advocacy, education, and information to do green building. We had this local appliance store down the way, and they always throw out these giant cardboard boxes. And so as kids, we used to go grab them out from behind the building, take them home, and take Mom's good steak knives and cut in doors and windows and build our own little cities and such in the background. So I guess you could say it's been in my blood for a long time.
Each construction project has its own requirements and parameters. Bruce and Laureen will be meeting regularly to discuss upcoming phases of the home's construction and review the work that's been completed.
My initial thoughts when Built to Last approached us about building a green home was it was a great opportunity. We were glad to be part of it. It's just that something like this to be brought to this level to the masses, it's something that is current and something that's becoming more achievable to the general public, and it's just a great option to be involved in this project. The way we first approached this, the fact that this home was going to be a greenhouse, was to what level were we going to try to achieve the LEED certification. And the other things that came into play is what ramifications, since this was being done in a residential development, that what would we have to do to conform that would kind of come into play so we could address everything at once. There were a lot of restrictions that there had to be a certain size and type of home to be constructed. So those were the initial challenges, that how could we overcome some of those issues.
We're actually looking at LEED Platinum for one program. We're also looking at the NAHB standard, as well as Energy Star and Builder's Challenge. And so what we think will come out of this exercise is just to get a good feel for where a house like this would perform on all four of those types of programs. I know, having been in the trenches for as long as I have, it has definitely shifted, and it's good, because I know back 12 years or so we were beating our heads against the wall because it was really hard to get people to understand what that term actually means. And unfortunately, we're sort of at a precipice. We're at a point at which some people are so tired, they're suffering what we call green fatigue. They hear green this, green that, and now we've got this greenwashing But to me, green is about making sure that we're focusing on site, water, energy, materials, and indoor air quality, as well as durability.
What we hope to convey to everyone that this is something that is achievable. There are options out there. Obviously, we're going to just touch on a few things that could be done, and that there's just a variety of things out there that could be done. And hopefully this will open up and lead to options for people to explore and try to accomplish by themselves too.
There needs to be something or some way to convey to people that it's not necessarily just green, it's just common sense. It's building science. And durability is going to be a very big issue, and hence that's what really attracted me to this project, because we're calling it Built to Last. Well, to me, that conveys durability, that this house is going to be built and it's going to be built to last. So.
Building green is about more than just materials. It's about your location to day-to-day activities and the community surrounding your home. Let's learn a little about the Chicago suburb we chose as the location to build our green home.
Lamont has always been a unique place to live. Based from the 1850s when the canal came through town and the early settlers came through, creating the I&M Canal, linking Lake Michigan all the way to the Mississippi River. Lamont has always been a place that's been reinventing itself. The Green Initiative was actually formalized in 2007 by myself and the village board. It was an effort to make the town more ecologically friendly and healthier for all of our citizens in town. So we attended a conference, and at that conference we were starting to see a lot of different green products that were starting to come out on the market, and different studies that showed how we could put more green into the village of Lamont. The board made a resolution in November of 2007, and from that point, Jim Brown, our community development director, and his staff comes up with more and more initiatives that we can help and pass in the village that helps builders and developers come up with ideas and make the town a much more greener place. After 2007, we were in the process of developing a new police station. And with that new police station, we want to try to put as much green emphasis into the design and the building of it as humanly possible. So at that point, we did, in working with our architect and our builder, we've done everything from the illumination of lights, the paint inside the facility, again, the permeable surfaces outside for the parking lot, and we were able to do a rain garden for the water runoff, along with many other products that we put into the facility. Anybody that's walked through the facility, just the appearance of it has sparked an overwhelming response from the citizens saying we did the right thing by taking some green initiatives along with making the aesthetics of the facility looking professional and also blends with neighborhoods. At the end of the day, we're using recyclable materials, we're doing the best we can for the environment, and we have a great product at the end of the day that our officers in 24/7, 365 days a year. When the team from Built to Last came to Lamont to initially start working with us and the idea of putting a house in Lamont, we thought it was a perfect fit based upon what we had already done with our green initiative. And in conclusion, I gotta say I can't wait for the Built to Last house to be completed, the show to be completed, and it's something that can showcase the village of Lamont and show that these products do work, they're cost effective, and it makes sense to make sure that we put these in our building codes for citizens and communities all across the United States.
The heavy equipment is here, which can only mean one thing. We're ready to excavate for the foundation. Since the lot has a drop-off, making the back of the house a walkout, we don't need to dig a hole for the entire foundation. But that doesn't mean the job is easier. We still have to dig precise lines based on our blueprint measurements. And it's this team who'll make sure we dig where we're supposed to. Though it's fun to see the big machines tear into our lot, we're gonna have to hold on until we take care of some important steps.
Before we can even get started putting a shovel into the ground, we've got to make sure that the house is marked out, we have all the corners, everything's established. plan we have on this house, we have a couple offsets in and outs of the house, so it's not a rectangular box. So we've got a few offsets, a few bay windows. So all those things have to be marked and everything has to be calculated out, so we're cutting on the right parameters of the home to get the perimeter of the home set. So once all those are in place and established and everybody feels comfortable, then we can put a shovel in the ground and start digging for our foundation.
The excavation can begin after our team makes their measurements and marks their lines. It's more than just digging, though. Our machine operators have to work together to make sure that the proper grade is maintained and the dimensions are correct for the next phase of construction.
To figure the bottom elevation of the basement, the surveyor also gives us a benchmark, it's called, which he'll give us a top of elevation of the foundation, and then we have to subtract the height of the wall and the thickness of the footing, and that gives us a final grade that we're cutting to within an inch for the concrete to lay his footing, because then it makes it an easier job for him if it's all flat, leveled one grade.
The site we have selected here is a sloping site and has a walkout basement. So only a portion of our site is technically being excavated for the foundation. We still have to do the whole perimeter of the house. We have to go dig down for a footing, but we're not excavating the whole house for our basement. With the walkout, we're probably about maybe 50% where the house has to be excavated. Through the whole process, you'll see as they go through, they're establishing the grade and elevations. As each cut they do, they go down a certain amount, and they'll always check it and establish it to be sure that they're on track.
Now that we're done with our first phase of the construction, we're going to talk with sustainable construction expert Sam Rashkin. Sam is the chief architect of the Building Technologies Office in the U.S. Department of Energy. So it's exciting to get his thoughts early on in the process. Well, Sam, here's our lot. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's always fun to look at a job just when it's excavated. But just from the excavation, we kind of can tell what's going on. Clearly the garage is going on over here.
That's right.
And if we look at the site, just look at this house, we can see that it's about midday and the sun's hitting there pretty square, so that's the south elevation. Looking at this house, we have the garage here on the south side, and I understand the kitchen's going to go in the back corner.
That's right.
Is that right, Amy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the family room and probably the bedrooms back here in the north.
You got it right.
Okay, great. So what we can tell right off the bat is that the garage is going to take up a big part of the south elevation because it's a pretty big room. And we have some space left for the kitchen, so we're losing a lot of south orientation. The house actually is facing east-west. Most of the rooms, the backside, are facing that west direction, and these rooms here are facing the east. My concern would be is the south is very precious to me. What I've observed and looked at from analysis is that if we face houses properly south, so most rooms face south, you can save 15 to 25% of the heating and cooling load. So it's kind of like we're throwing away almost 15 to 25% of our bill just because we're facing a certain direction.
Oh, wow, okay. Is there anything else about the design that we should be looking out for?
We have a big expanse of rooms, the biggest elevation facing right due west. And you know, Chicago's not the hottest climate, but you still get a pretty hot summer, and you're gonna have a very low sun coming in all summer long when it's pretty hot. Enough that you have to address that concern in the design. You have to use a very effective window, we call it a low emissivity or low E window. Those windows, the ones that are really good quality, can block as much as 70 to 80% of the sun that comes through them. And since the sun's causing about 60% of the cooling load in the summer that comes through the windows, that's a big deal, blocking 70-80% of the sun. So that's a big design concern, to have the windows on the south with a good low E material, and to recognize from a design perspective for the heating and cooling system to have enough cooling load going to those rooms.
Oh, thank you so much. This has just been invaluable.
Yeah, I think we're off to a great start. I think we can see what's happening here with the design, how we're going, and I think what we can do is just see how the team can address some of these challenges, come back and see how the house progresses.
This hole means we are definitely on our way. Join us next time as we move forward with pouring the foundation and constructing a solid base for our green home here on Built to Last.
Visit the Built to Last website to learn about these topics and more. Support for Built to Last is provided by
Unico Incorporated, manufacturers of the small duct high velocity HVAC Unico system. Unico is dedicated to the environment and has been serving residential and commercial customers around the corner and around the globe for more than 25 years.
Great Northern Lumber, providing green construction materials from skyscrapers to residential remodel. Proud to serve you for the last 27 years and into the future in the lumber industry.
Bosch, power tools for professionals. Proud sponsor of The Green Home. Florida Tile. Expect more. SPI Incorporated, protective coatings, proven performance, and real-world solutions for 24 years. Additional funding is provided by these firms.